Hello there. Today I'm going to explain to you how to install, adjust, and remove the parts for our Hit the Road electric bike. Okay, so now we're going to put on the fenders for the front wheel. This short one goes in the front here, and the long one is going to go on the back of the wheel, just like so. We've got this connector piece here and 5 screws here. The black ones go through these holes. So we'll do the back one first. So you see the one with with only 2 holes. This one goes on the back. It goes under the fender, just like that. And we put these, I should really do these first actually. Let's put these screws into the washer. Prepare them all. Okay, might as well do these while we're at it. Okay, alright, so we've got our screws and washers prepared, and again this one goes under the fender just like that, and then we screw them in. Alright, let's put this one in first. Okay, get that one a little bit tight. Put in the second one. Alright, so there's the back fender, and the front one, the first hole in the front you want to ignore. These 2 are the only ones that really matter here. Again, we put the fender on top, just like that, and now we'll put the screws on. Let's get that first one in. And last one, magnetic screwdriver. Okay, so if you've got this piece done, then you're ready to mount it onto your bike. So it goes in much easier from the front, and just like so, there's a hole right here for a screw. That's this. Okay, so now we're going to put this silver screw in. So as you can see under there, there's a little groove there and a hole, and we're going to align those, put that in, and on the other side, we're gonna fit this nut here to hold it in place, and I think it's aligning, working blindfolded now. Okay, and let's get that in nice and tight. Okay, so we've finished the fenders now, and you can adjust them. These are a bit low. Some people like them low. If you'd like them a bit higher, then you can adjust them and just kind of pull them up a little bit, and they will stay a bit. You can see this one's a little bit higher now. Okay, so now we're going to put on the rear fender, and it's a long one, and then it attaches to this piece here, which is going to attach to the stem of the seat. Okay, so this part here is the top. That goes underneath. Alright, and just like with the last one, it will go underneath the fender like this. Unlike the front fenders, however, it comes with a nut here. So you've got a screw, a washer, and a nut, and this magnetic screwdriver, which we send for free, by the way. It's got 2 sides. Let's get rid of the flat side. Go back to Phillips. Okay, let's put the washer into the screw. This washer happens to be cracked down the middle, but it still works, like my heart. Okay, and we'll put it in there. Okay, you can see the bottom. Let's put that nut in there. Let's tighten that one. Okay, there we go. Second one going in. Okay, we've got that part done. Alright, the next part is we attach this to the stem of the seat. Now this piece, when you receive it, it's going to be a complete circle. You'll have to cut it so that it looks like this. You don't want the complete circle. You want to cut it so that you've got something a little more than a semicircle, and that's basically just to put inside here to add some tension and some friction between this hoop here and the stem. Alright, so we're gonna put that in now. And let's loosen this up. Okay, and if you look at the stem here, there are these little lines here. Now that means that this is really the tallest that you want the seat to be before you're kind of in danger of it coming off. So you don't want your seat to be if you can see these lines, then the seat is too high and it's a little bit dangerous. So you don't want to go above that. So this will definitely be above those safety lines. Okay, So let's squeeze that in there. Okay, all right, so we'll put it up here. All right, and the rest is pretty simple. Tighten this screw. Okay, so we've attached these pieces together and now we're going to put it onto the bike. Here we go. All right, and this part is probably the simplest part of the assembly. This piece you don't even take it off, you just turn it around, tighten it, and then when it's almost tight enough, you want to pull this back. Okay, all right, so we're putting this on, and actually I've decided I kind of want this fender to be a little bit higher, so that's quite easy because all we have to do is loosen this screw a little bit. Okay, and then we'll just scoot it up a bit. How about here? I think that's good. All right, and then for the actual seat, we'll put it up there. Okay, so this part is quite simple to tighten. All you have to do is turn this a bit, and then when it's almost tight enough, you flip this around to the front, and that should hold it pretty well. Okay, so now we've got the seat in, we've got the back fender. You can even adjust these a bit if you want to adjust the fender a bit more. Some people like it a little bit more flared, some people want them a bit lower. Okay, and the seat can also be moved back and forth. You can adjust it to your comfort level. All you have to do is loosen this screw at the bottom. And let's do that real quick. Okay, that should be enough. Okay, so now we can move this back and forth. There it goes forward and back. It gets about probably like 8 to 10 centimeters of difference from the full forward position to the full back position.
Brilliant.
Okay, and let's tighten it back. We'll put it somewhere in the middle then. Okay, and there it is. To remove the handlebars, we just need a number 4 Allen wrench. And remove them like so. Let's loosen that one. Okay, so you just have to remove these 4 screws, and it's quite easy. Let's get that bottom screw out. And so the piece comes free just like this. And the handlebar comes free like that. Okay guys, so when you receive your bike, it's going to look like this. The stem is going to be on backwards, and all you have to do to turn it around to the front is you have to loosen 3 screws, these 2 here. Okay, so first we loosen this screw on the top. Okay, and then loosen these. This one's already pretty loose. Okay, and this one's a little bit tighter. Let's loosen that one. All right, so then it's quite easy to turn it around and get the stem to the front, and of course you'll have to tighten them back again. Let's get that nice and aligned straight. Okay, gotta remember righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. For those of you who forget whether it's turning clockwise or counterclockwise, turning them to the right tightens them. So righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, so we're tightening it, so we're turning it to the right. Okay, same thing with this one. All right, let's make sure that's good and tight. Give it a little stress test. All right, let's give that a stress test. Okay, it's nice and sturdy now. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to want to do is put the handlebars on. So first we need to take off this piece here, this one that looks like 2 bridges or an alien ship. Okay, so for these we're going to use a number 4 Allen wrench. So for this one it was a number 5, for this one was a number 6 Allen wrench, this one was a number 5 Allen wrench, and these we need a number 4, the smallest of the 3. And when you take this out, you kind of want to do it on diagonals. Loosen this a bit, loosen the diagonal a bit, and then loosen this one a bit, and then loosen the one on the diagonal, and then go back to this one. it keeps it from coming off unevenly, and which isn't a complete disaster, but it's good for the screw wells. It keeps them from getting stressed by an uneven pull off of these screws. Alright, and it's coming free. Oh, there's one stubborn one there. Okay, alright, we've got this little alien ship off. And now we're going to put the handlebars in. Okay, and it fits right in like that. And okay, if we can get one in, then the rest is pretty easy. So again, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Okay, yeah, we've got one fastened. Get traction with one of them. And then we'll move to the diagonal. So we're starting with this one, and now we're going to go to the diagonal. All right, we'll go to the adjacent one and then do the diagonal thing again. We just need to put our handlebars where we want them. Okay, so I want them about like that. So now we're actually going to tighten it so that these bars don't move, which they certainly shouldn't. Probably the hardest one to reach is this one down the bottom right one, because we have these brake wires here. This one back on the diagonal. We'll put it so the reflector is facing straight forward. We don't need the birds to see the reflector. Okay, so now it's nice and tight. We've got our reflector facing forward. We've got the handlebars, they're nice and straight. The wheel also nice and straight. So this is looking pretty good. Okay, so first you got to make sure that this is nice and straight and in line, because you don't want to be riding with a crooked wheel. Okay, so this washer here, if it can move, that means that it's too loose. So it's movable right now, so we need to tighten this top one up here, and we're going to go back to our number 5 Allen wrench, tighten this up a bit. Okay, that seems pretty good. And then we do the 2 on the side. This one here. Need a bigger tool for this job. And let's tighten that one. That one seems already pretty good. Okay, and the last one right here. Okay, and we're gonna give this top one last spin, just for good luck. All right, so we're on there pretty good, and it's nice and tight. Okay, so now we're going to adjust the stem here to get these handlebars up a bit higher, or leave them down lower. We can leave them lower so you can go faster. It's great for racing and stuff. You can stand up while you pedal. Although if you're going for long distances, it's going to be really rough on your back to be bending over for that long. So for that reason, we're going to bring it up a little bit, and that's going to de-stress your back a lot. So let's get right into it. Okay, so there's one screw under here that a lot of people miss, and we can use our number 6 Allen wrench to get into there. And let's loosen that up a bit. Okay. Now let's loosen this one on the side, which is a lot easier to see than the one on the bottom. Let's loosen that, and now we have liftoff. You can see we can bring it up and down. It goes up quite high. We're only going to bring it up to this height because that's a bit more natural, I would say. And we're going to pull out our number 6 Allen wrench and tighten the one on the bottom again. Okay. Let's get that one in nice and tight. And back to number 5. This is why back pockets were invented. And we tighten this one here. Okay, that's pretty good. I think I should tighten the one on the bottom a little bit more. Okay, so we've adjusted the stem now to the appropriate height. Always make sure that this is facing forward. As you can see, when you adjust it, this will go up on an angle. Like I mentioned, this reflector is for cars, not for birds. So always make sure that it's adjusted straight forward so that you're riding safely. Okay, and this is our cute little battery, and we're going to put it in. There's the little triangle that it fits right into. Okay, and you pull it down, and then after that you want to tighten this key. Let's turn that around, and now it is locked in place. It's not going anywhere. In order to take it out, just put the key right back in there, turn it, and it pops right out. There we go, and there's our battery. Okay, so here's the on and off switch for the battery. Of course, the O is off, 1 is on. You need this to be on before you turn this on over here. Okay, and it turns on. All right, so if this is off, then nothing else will turn on. So make sure that this is on before you use anything. And here's the charger port right under this cover. We've got a magnet there to keep it in place. Avoid rough contact to avoid any damages to the cover. This battery is 36 volts and it takes only 3 hours to charge, which is twice as fast as the standard. You can charge it on the bike or off the bike. You can take it off and charge it overnight and have a full battery for the next day. Now I'm going to give you a look at the inner workings of the lock system here. So here's the key, and when you turn the key, it causes this peg to go in and out. When the peg is out, that means that it's locked, and that's what keeps the battery from moving when it's in your bike. So before you put this on your bike, first make sure that the peg is in so that you can put this battery safely into the cradle, and then after it's in, you turn the key again so that peg comes out and holds it in place. Okay, so now we're going to charge this battery, and here's the charger. I've just plugged it in and it's got a green light. So when you plug it in, you'll see this green light here. All right, and now we're going to put it into the charger port, and you're going to see that light turn red. Now first of all, here there's this little arrow here, and that arrow, that white kind of triangle thing, that white little Star Trek thing, will align with this white dot. Okay. Alright, and you're going to see this turn red. See, now it's red, and that means that it's charging, okay? It'll be a little bit warm, don't worry about that, that's perfectly normal. And when it's finished charging, it'll turn green. And it'll take about 3 hours to finish charging. And you might notice it's a little bit warm, that's perfectly normal when it's charging. And then on this side, this will show the charging status here. Right now this one is empty, so you can see that red, there's nothing that stays on when you press the button. Red means that it's pretty much empty. I'll hold the button down for you. Red means that it's pretty much empty. When all three are green, that means that it's completely full. As you see less and less green, that means that your battery is getting more and more empty. And when you're down to red, that means you need to charge it soon. Okay, so we're going to test the voltage of the battery now. So first, set your multimeter to 200 volts. Oh, there we go, 200. All right, and now we're going to put this into the positive, that one. That's the one with the plus sign on the far left. That's the negative end. That's the one with the minus sign on the far right. And if it's between 36 and 42, then you're good to go. Right now we're getting, let's see, 41.4. So that means this battery is normal. Okay, so these are the pedals, and the right one will come with a sticker on it with an R, the left one will have an L on it, and they're really simple to put on. You can see that there are built-in grooves for a screw well, and there's a screw well right in here. This one has an R on the pedal, and it's on the right side of the bike as well. So this one's pretty easy to put in. You just turn the screw clockwise, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. We're going to throw a wrench in there to tighten that a bit better. Okay, so the right pedal is on nice and tightly. Okay, now the left pedal, I've thrown you a bit of a curveball here because the left pedal actually goes in counterclockwise, which is the opposite of what's normal for screwing things in. So usually it would be clockwise to screw something in, but this one is actually counterclockwise. So we're going to be screwing it in this way. Okay, and that one's also on nice and tightly. Okay, and we've just assembled the pedals. Okay, so now we're going to adjust the brakes. If your brakes are ever squeaky or noisy, then it might be time to adjust them. So the first thing that we're going to look at is this little cable coming down here, and this attaches to the right hand brake. I'm going to squeeze it a second so you can see what it does. So when this happens, it squeezes the clip over the brake pad and causes the wheel to slow down and eventually stop completely. Now if your brake is not tight enough, that could be dangerous, and well, you would need to tighten it. So I'm going to show you how to tighten the brake, or possibly loosen it if it's too tight. So this screw right here, we use, I believe this is a number 5 Allen wrench, and we're going to loosen this a bit. Okay, that's really all you need to do. So as you can see now, this is free to move, and you can set it. If you set it here further along the end, it's going to be looser. If you set it here, it's going to be tighter the further forward it is. So the sweet spot is right around there, so that's where we're going to tighten this. Okay, we've got that tightened, and let's pull that. Okay. So the second thing that you might need to adjust is this piece right here. This holds the clip, and the clip is what hugs the brake pad. And so this screw right here corresponds to the clip. So you can loosen it like this, and that loosens the whole piece with the clip, and tighten it like this. So, and this of course you would want to be tight, because you need it to be staying in place so that you're ready to brake just when that green light turns red. Okay, so now we're going to adjust the gears, and they're on the handlebars. The ones on the right are for the back, and the ones on the left are for the front gears. Now the thing is, when you adjust the gears, you want to do it while you're pedaling. You don't want to adjust the gears while you're standing still. Okay, so right now it's on a gear 7. We're going to move it up to a gear 6 now, and then we're going to move to a gear 5. Now on 5, we press the button again. It's a blue button, and we go to okay, we're moving it to gear 6 now. The smaller the number, the bigger the gear. Okay, so we've moved to the middle gear now. Okay, we're going to change the tire now. So first, let's let all the air out. So let's stick this little Allen wrench in here and get rid of all that air. Okay, we're gonna pop this tire now, and this one does involve a little bit of elbow grease. Not so much actually. Okay, here's the tube, and let's get that out. Okay, so now let's put this tire back together. Alright, so let's put that wheel in there. You want to get the inside of the rubber in between the two kind of metal railings of this wheel. You don't want the tire to be straddling the wheel, you want the wheel to be straddling the tire. Okay, we're going to get all of that in there. We still have this hanging out. We push all of it inside of the wheel. Okay, so let's put this tube back inside the tire. So you're going to find the hole here, and after you find the hole, you get the peg in there, and there we go. Alright, so we've got that part in, and now we just sneak all of this under the tire, just like sweeping it under the rug. Okay, and now we just need to put this end of the tire inside the metal railing of the wheel. Okay, and the rest is pretty easy, just like making a pizza. Alright, so we've got this back together. Alright, let's fill it up with air. All right, so we've got our pump here, and we're gonna put this pump head over the nozzle and pull that down to lock it in. Okay, and then with one foot on this end, the other foot will push down. We just pump it with our... Okay, so when you put this tire back, the first thing that you want to make sure is that you've got this open space here so that you can get that screw back into the little groove that it's supposed to go into. Same thing with this side. You want this to be open. These screws are just hanging here along this wire, so don't have to worry about that. But you don't want the screws close to the wheel. You want a nice big space there. And if you've got that, then you're ready to put it in place. So let's put this wheel in, and we're going to take this wire here, we're going to put it in the middle of this chain here so it doesn't get caught on anything. All right. Okay, so you can see the axle slides right in there. Same thing with this side. The axles slide right into the groove. So now we can tighten these. Put this side in as well. Okay, and so this will connect into this wire. All right. And then this little rubber thing will go on top of the nut there. And then this one for this side. Okay, so we cover the screws just like that. Okay, so we've got this little guardrail here, and that's to protect the gearbox. So you can see these two holes here. Those are going to line up with these two holes here. And that's going to keep the gearbox safe from any rough contact. Okay, let's put that screw in there. And the second one, let's put that one in as well. Okay, and let's tighten it with Okay, so we've got these two screws in nice and tight, and so this piece is nice and firm and will protect our gearbox. Alright, so now we've finished assembling the wheel. We're going to take the wheel off, and the first thing that we need to do is we need to take this guardrail off. And this is to protect our gearbox. At the moment, however, it doesn't need protection because it's in safe hands, and we're going to remove it. Alright, so we've removed the guardrail. Now there's a rubber cap on here, and that's really just to protect the nut here. There's a rubber cap on the other side as well. Rubber cap's removed, now we just take off the nut that was underneath it. And let's loosen that. Okay, and then same thing with the other side. There will be a nut on the other side. Let's loosen that. Okay, now you want to take it off almost to the end, so there's a nice big space over there. Same thing with the other side. Both sides, this side you can actually take it all the way off, really. Okay, because you can scoot it down this cable. I mean, if you really want to, you could take the nut and washer completely off. The main thing is you don't want them too close to the wheel. You want a nice big space between the washer and the wheel. We have to pull that out. Okay, so now let's pull the wheel, and it should lift out freely. Let's move this back so that it doesn't get caught. Okay, pull that chain off, and the wheel comes out just like that. Okay, so now we're going to do some troubleshooting, and there are going to be 3 stages to this. The first one will be mostly concerning the battery, and the first thing that you should probably look at if you're having trouble with your bike is how full the battery is. So there are 4 bars here, one of them is red, the other 3 are green. If the battery is full, then all the green ones should be lit up. The less green that you have, the more empty your battery is. If there's no green that's lit up, then that means your battery is empty. So if you've looked at the battery and it's not empty, then the next thing that you should look at is the on and off switch. And I'll just move this around here. So the on and off switch is here, and there's the 1 and the 0. Make sure that it's on. If it's off, then that's probably the problem. If you've turned it on and you're still having problems, then the next thing to look at is up here. So here's your speedometer, and you turn that on. Okay, now if it doesn't turn on, then that means you've got a problem with the speedometer. So that's the first stage, and the second one is involving the throttle and the sensor. So the first thing that you should do, and I'm just going to wheel this back around here, is turn the throttle. I'm going to move that wheel up. And check if the wheel moves. The second part of that is you turn the pedal. Let's stop that wheel. Okay, turn the pedal. So if the throttle works but the pedal doesn't, then that means there's a problem with the sensor down here. If the pedals work but the throttle doesn't, that means there's a problem with the throttle. Okay, and so the third stage of this troubleshooting list is dealing mainly with the speedometer. So there's a minus sign on this side, and when you do a long press on that minus sign, the back wheel should move. Just like that. Okay, if it doesn't move, then there's a problem with the motor. All right, luckily ours moves.